Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello. It's been a couple of weeks since I jumped on live, and I wanted to talk about this month, and I wanted to bring some of you guys on screen and answer some of your questions. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Michaela, the real King Quinn. How are you guys? Hi, Heidi. Hi, Sarah. What a month. What a month. What a month. The very end of, hello, everyone. At the very end of April, I was tapping into May. And hello, Linnea. And I felt that it was going to be an intense month for a lot of us. But I really had no idea really what many of us were going to be going through. So I want to share a little bit about personally what I've been going through and how I've been going through it. And for the sole purpose of allowing you to perhaps relate and recognize that there's nothing wrong with you. When we awaken, right, when we begin to observe ourselves and feel everything, see everything, observe everything, it becomes a whole different game. It becomes a whole different game. The human journey becomes a very different game. And what May has been doing for a lot of you and for me is getting us so raw, so vulnerable, so authentic, so real, that we are literally able to hold ourselves in as much compassion and love as possible, because so many layers have been peeled away. Right? The illusions that we have about ourselves, right? The thoughts are illusions, the beliefs illusions, behaviors illusions, emotions illusions. They're not real. And they're not us. And May has really been allowing me, and I'm sure a lot of you, to peel back more of the illusion of who we are being. And the sole purpose for this occurring right now, for so many of you and for myself, is so that we can be of service to all the humans that are going to be requiring assistance in moving through what we are about to move through and are currently moving through. And so those of us that have been on this path of awakening, those who have just begun the path of awakening, typically it's not for you, meaning you're not doing it for yourself, even though you are. You're actually doing it for all of the other humans that have contracted with you or agreed with you prior to incarnating into the human form to assist them in walking through this evolution in human consciousness. So we have to evolve first. We have to peel back layers first. We have to unravel and become authentically raw, our pure essence, our divine light. We have to stand in our authenticity. We have to speak from our sovereign space. We have to say no. We have to say yes. We hold firm boundaries. We speak truth. We speak our truth, right? We allow others to speak their truth. We start learning more and more how to be accepting of all that's unraveling, accepting of all humans' truths, acceptance of your own experience, right? So for myself personally, I don't even know where to begin, but what I can say is every tiny aspect of me that has the potential to hold me back from stepping deeper into why I'm here on the earth and why I have incarnated into the human body is popping up right now. And it's not so much for me, it's not so much these big traumas, right? I've gone through a lot of trauma. I've cleared out a lot of trauma. These are nagging, limiting beliefs that have the potential to hold me back from the opportunities that are coming that will allow me to serve in a much larger way. And I share this with you because whatever you're going through, whatever you're navigating, especially if it frustrates you, especially if it's uncomfortable, especially if it creates irritability and anger and anything else that you may be experiencing because of it, it is an opportunity to be able to accept it. You see, what we are being asked right now is to wholeheartedly, 100,000% accept ourselves. Accept the ways we used to be that may still be popping in. Accept where we are in our lives. Accept who we're with. Accept the job. Acceptance is the only way that you create change. You cannot change without acceptance because you will find yourself looped back in to that which you were trying to change. It's just going to look like a different dress or a different color or a different person or a different job, but it's going to create the same situations and experiences until you accept. And acceptance feels like a big mama bear coming in and wrapping their arms around you. So what I've been doing the last 2 weeks, as I have been watching these thoughts pop up, right? Massive amounts of insecurity. Massive, right? And massive amounts of doubt. Really wanting to sort of throw in the towel. I think I might be done. And as I was experiencing all of it and also feeling very not here, not present. What do I do? How do I show up? Just very uncomfortable in my skin, uncomfortable in this human journey. I'm not used to this at all. Not used to it. And the only thing that my higher self and presence was asking of me was to accept it. Was to surrender to it and not fight it. Was to literally imagine a bigger version of you wrapping their arms around you, Lori, as you are having these illusionary thoughts, meaning they're not you. And then it became, wow, look at how powerful these thoughts are. Look at how powerful these beliefs are. They convince me that it is my reality. They convince me. And as I was journaling today and I said, why so much insecurity? I was journaling, why so much insecurity? I'm not used to that, right? So much. So whatever you're experiencing, right? It's probably one main theme. Maybe it's a couple themes, right? What is that theme that's coming up for you? What is it that keeps coming up, coming up, coming up? And if you journal or if you ask yourself why, you'll get the answer. You'll get the answer. You always have the answers inside of you. And when I journaled, I finally asked. So here's the funny piece about humans. We don't ask ourselves. We ask other people. Hey, can you tell me why you think I'm doing this? Why do you think this is happening to me, right? We try to ask guides that are, in some other dimensional realm, but we don't ask ourselves. Aren't we the only ones that would know? So I sat and I said, I'm going to ask me. And they said, if you do not accept and surrender into this peace, into these limiting beliefs of insecurity, doubt, what is about to come for you, you won't be able to embrace. On an energetic level, you won't be able to embrace. And I said, okay, so what do I need to do? They said surrender, of course, right? Don't we always hear that annoying word? Surrender, surrender, surrender. They said surrender. Don't change it. Honor it. Honor it, Lori. Honor what you're thinking. Honor what you're doing. Honor how you're being. Honor it. There's nothing wrong with it. But it sure feels uncomfortable, right? Yeah, it sure feels uncomfortable, right? And we're showing it to you over and over and over again, meaning your higher self. Showing it to you over and over and over again. You are showing it to you over and over and over. So you can embrace it. So you can honor it. So you can love it. So that you can realize that it doesn't have power and control over you. It doesn't have power or control over you. And then there's this relaxation that happens. There's this sigh. There's this letting go. The shoulders drop. You can let go of the fight. You can let go of the struggle. Do you realize how often we struggle with our thoughts? We struggle with our emotions. We struggle with our beliefs and our behaviors. And all they are is energy, stuck in the body, that literally just wants to be surrendered into, accepted, seen, loved, and then on you go. On you go. You are preparing yourself for something bigger than what you're in right now. And that may be just having the ability to be in peace. That may be just having the ability to accept your life, find joy in the little things. That may be you finally get to move to that state or that island or wherever. You finally are going to be moving, right? Or maybe it's a new job, a new relationship. I don't know what it is. But for many of you, there is opportunity coming in the next couple of weeks. And there's this simultaneous opportunity. I want you to really hold this. There's a simultaneous opportunity coming because you're not here just to enjoy life, believe it or not. You are here to serve humanity by being you. Just by being you. So there is a simultaneous energetic shift or shift in your consciousness, shift in your states of consciousness. A state of consciousness is a state of being. So your thoughts are changing, your beliefs are changing, your behaviors are changing, your emotions are changing. And when we change, when we move into new states of consciousness, when we evolve, we let go of or we step out of the states of consciousness we've been living in for a very long time. So that's the first thing that's happening. Okay? And this is happening, your evolution is happening, so that you can be an example for the rest of humanity, for the rest of the humans that are around you and all over the earth. So you're literally a living example of how evolution unravels. Unbeknownst or beknownst to you, whether you're aware of this or not, that's what you're doing. There's a very small percentage of humans on the earth plane that are currently observing themselves and courageously evolving. Now, the entire human collective is evolving, but the evolution process can take a very long time if you're not observing and participating in it. And so there's a small percentage of us that are awake to it. We are observing it. We are aware, and that's you and me. We're aware. We're awake, and we are consciously, courageously, and many times kicking and screaming as we evolve. So we are moving forward first, evolving first into higher states of consciousness, while the majority of humans are slowly, very slowly, going to follow suit. So you're the example. First thing that's happening right now in your life. Every single thing you're going through is your evolution, all of it. Every piece. And the second thing is that there are new opportunities, new experiences, new joy, new abundance, new love, new freedom. There's new ways of coming for you personally, right? So there's this collective opportunity that's coming for you, which is that you are going to be the way shower or the example, and you're going to assist humanity. And you may already be doing that. And there's also more coming for you personally. So this is what's happening right now. And depending upon where you are in the earth, depending upon what you're going through, right? We all have different blueprints. So we're all having different struggles, different traumas that we're clearing out, different experiences every day that we have to navigate. For some of us, this evolution is easy. For some of us, the evolution is really, really challenging. We all are unique, and we're all going to experience this uniquely. All of us. So you want to do your best to not judge yourself or anyone else, right? There are many people, there are many courageous humans right now that are on parts of the earth that are going through massive shadow, massive dark. Well, we all are, really. But there are specific countries that are really going through it right now. And there are humans that are awake. And there are humans that are courageously navigating their evolution in the process of their country going through a massive shadow or massive dark night of the soul. And there are humans that are on other parts of the world where their country seems to be somewhat okay. And so their evolution may be a little bit easier. But every single human that is here to be on the front lines of showing humanity how this evolution works, they're all different colors. They're all different races. They're all different economic status, right? They have all different types of jobs. There's such a variety of us. And it's designed that way. So what we're going through right now in this month requires so much compassion and love for yourself and for all the other humans. It requires the remembrance, the absolute remembrance that you're peeling back more of the illusion that you have been in. Thoughts are an illusion. They're an illusion. All a thought is, hopefully this isn't too much. Bear with me on this. All a thought, a belief, or an emotion is. Ready? Everything's energy, right? So everything external is energy. Everything in the world is energy. It's all energy. You are energy, okay? And your body's energy. It's just in a dimensional field that holds matter. Meaning if energy comes into this third dimensional field, if energy enters into this third dimensional field, it will turn into matter, okay? So everything has physicality to it. Now, when you have an experience out in the world, that experience, although it looks physical, is energy. Okay? That experience, which is energy or consciousness, okay? So stay with me. Energy is consciousness. Consciousness is energy. They're the same. When you have an experience like an argument or an embrace with somebody, or you meet someone for the first time at the grocery store, or you get in an argument with someone at the grocery store, or you accidentally bump into somebody's car, or you are head to work and you see two people fighting. I don't know what the experience is, but an experience. That's energy. First and foremost, it looks physical. Your body experiences that energy, that experience, and it filters the experience in. Filters the experience or the consciousness into your body. Okay? And when that energy is filtered or consciousness is filtered into the body, your subtle bodies, your emotional body and your mental body dissect it into thoughts, to beliefs, and emotions so that you can understand the external world. You can understand the world you live in. Does this make sense so far? Or did I lose anyone? So everything is consciousness. Consciousness is filtered into the body. The subtle bodies, the emotional and mental bodies, dissect it. And that is how we have and create thought, emotion, belief. And then what happens is those thoughts and emotions and beliefs become, they store into our bodies, and then we grab them as if they are our guide to navigate us through the human world, right? Certain thoughts we like, certain thoughts we don't like, certain emotions we like, certain emotions we don't like. Now, if we've had trauma, think about this. If you've had a trauma, let's say you've had an emotional or a physical abuse or a sexual abuse. Think about the consciousness that is experienced during that trauma. That consciousness moves into your body. The thoughts around that trauma move into your body. The emotions that are created from that trauma move into your body. The beliefs created from that external experience move into your body. And then what happens? The subtle bodies dissect it. And they say, okay, you are ... You don't deserve love. Your body isn't safe. You can't speak your truth. You're not, these are the thoughts that come through based on that experience. And then the emotions, fear, insecurity, rage, anger, confusion. And because these are uncomfortable, very uncomfortable consciousnesses, we don't feel them. And so what do? They stay in the body. They remain in the body as consciousness, i.e. energy. They store in the body. And then we go through our life. We continue to have these external experiences creating thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and behaviors. And because we are unaware of what is actually energetically occurring, we hold on to the thoughts. We hold on to the beliefs. We hold on to the emotions. And we hold on to the behaviors that are created from them. And here you are now, with all of these thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and behaviors that are purely energy, that came from an external experience, that have never been you, ever. And all you're doing is coming back home to you, peeling back all of the thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, emotions that you stored as you lived your life, unaware of how this energetic world works. And you're becoming authentic. You're becoming raw. You're becoming you all over again. The you that you have always been. By letting go of the thoughts. By letting go of the behaviors and beliefs that don't serve you any longer. The emotions that don't serve you any longer. And if we beat ourselves up because we're having these, shame on us. Why would we possibly beat ourselves up? It's part of our human journey. We did nothing wrong. You understand this? You had a human experience. You walked along your human path and you had a human experience. And that human experience provided you with information called consciousness. You have never done anything wrong. You've just forgotten how this energetic world works. You forgot how the body works. And everything that we're going through right now in the external, everything that the world is going through right now is a massive, massive purging of collective thoughts, collective emotions, collective behaviors, collective ways of being. So the microcosmic version is us individually. The macrocosmic version is the entire human collective, the entire world. And so what we're watching is the simultaneous evolution of our own individual beings, waking up out of that shell of illusion. Holy shit, I'm not my thoughts, not my beliefs, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my behaviors. Who am I? Oh, I am light in form. I am consciousness in form. I am power. I am empowered. I am love. I am free. I have choice. And then you look at the world around you and you say to yourself, oh my God, what I'm going through individually, the world is going through collectively. 5 billion of us. And that's going to take a very long time. And so your role here in this now is to recognize the role you're playing in your own personal evolution for the purpose of assisting humanity's evolution and your own evolution so that you can free yourself from anything that has kept you shackled to the illusion that you don't deserve everything you deserve in this world. Because you deserve to be free. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be joyful, peaceful, abundant. That's our birthright. And all of us have the opportunity and ability to slowly evolve into those states of consciousness. The more we courageously allow ourselves to feel all of the consciousnesses that have been layered on us within us, convincing us that we are not truly the most courageous warriors of light the world has ever seen. It's quite an amazing experience, what we're going through, what you are going through. It's an amazing experience because consciousness has never had the opportunity to evolve the way that humanity is being given the opportunity to evolve right now. And it is no joke. No joke. So if you're feeling crazy, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling like you want to pull your hair out, if you're feeling like you don't know which direction to go to, you're sick and tired of this, if you're feeling massive amounts of irritability, if you are tired of feeling everything that you're continuing to courageously feel, if you wish that the fog would lift, if you wish that it would get a lot easier, if you wish that the rest of humanity would wake up, if you're having any and all of these things, welcome to the evolution in human consciousness, because that's what you're experiencing. And we don't get out of it, we go through it. We don't get out of it, we go through it. So remember what this is all about. Remember what this is all about. And I promise you that what is coming, for each of us it's different, right? For each of us it's different. We're all unique. We all have a beautiful, unique signature. But there is so much opportunity coming for us. So much opportunity coming for us. If we continue to remember that every single moment that we are, everything that we're experiencing is an opportunity to evolve. Everything is an opportunity to evolve. This is the largest shift in a consciousness in this dense of a form that the universe has ever seen. It's a pretty massive experiment that's going on. So we get to have all our human emotions around it, right? We get to have all our human emotions. This is about being human. It's all about devouring the human experience. It's about being right here, right now, in your body, human. Because that's why you're here, to be human. You're not here to try not to be human, to step out of being human, to try to evolve into some state of consciousness where you're no longer human. You're here to be the human. You're here to devour what the human experience is. You know, Mary Magdalene said the other day when I was channeling her, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, and it stuck with me because it was pretty powerful. She said, in the meditation, she said, this isn't about escaping pain. She says, I never escaped pain in my human life. I never escaped pain. She says, what I did is I found presence. I found presence. And as soon as I found presence, I was able to walk through any pain without being rattled by it. So it's not that she was necessarily numb to it. It's just that the pain didn't overtake her. The pain didn't control her. She didn't become the pain. She just experienced the human. And she did it by moving into presence. And I think that is such such an important message for us, because so many of us are trying to escape the uncomfortable. And anytime you try to escape something you don't like, you will absolutely find yourself in suffering. You will suffer. And if you are trying to evolve into these really high frequency states and stay there, you will suffer. Because part of being human is that you're gonna feel pain. You're gonna feel sadness. You're gonna feel anger. You're gonna feel rage. You're gonna feel these things until there's a moment where you don't. But until that moment, you allow yourself to go through anything and doing your best to sit in or find presence, which is your breath, which is the stillness where everything stops, which is the place where you remember that you're safe, that all is well, that you can navigate anything that is right here in front of you. Presence is the key. Presence is the key. I don't know if we have 5 billion humans. I just threw that number out. How many humans do we have? I mean, I think they're trying to depopulate us, so it's probably a lot less, but it's not my birthday. My birthday was in February. So I would love to bring a couple people on and just answer a couple questions that you may have. Maybe I'll just do one person. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Let's bring somebody on screen. If you want to come on screen, I think you just, I don't know what you do. You ask somehow, somewhere. Let's do this.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh my God, this is so crazy. I had this weird feeling that, I don't know, it's just so crazy.
Hello, you're Allison?
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just making sure my baby's still sleeping.
Uh-oh. Where are you in the world?
New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Let
New
me,
Jersey. New Jersey in the house.
yeah. Oh my God, that's so crazy because the other night when you and Phil had a live, you guys asked me to come on and I don't know what I did, but I like clicked out of it and I was like, no.
Oh, how weird.
Yeah, so when you just said that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try again. And I was like, maybe.
Wow, that's
Let me turn this on.
the percentage of that happening is slim to none. So
Yeah. Oh, and right now it's 22, my number too. 822 here.
nice.
Funny.
My number's 23.
23. Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Um, well, especially with everything that you've just been talking about, I've had two incidences that have happened recently that have like really got me kind of like uneasy, and I felt like very flighty and like just not good about it. And I think a lot of it comes down to feeling secure, and like because I'm a mom, especially because I'm a mom, I think that's like the main thing is that I just feel like mama bear, and I'm doing this alone. My the father of my kids lives in Poland actually, so he's not like in the picture at all. It's always just me. So like I feel sometimes like I don't have that male like protective around me. So like when different things happen, whether it's in public or like just like a safety kind of thing, I really feel myself kind of um just like lose it a little bit, like inside. I don't necessarily act out, but it's like inside I just feel myself like losing control of my emotions. And it's like it's happened two times now in like the past few days. Something's happened, and it's like I guess it revolves around like a feeling safe, I guess. So like what you were talking about earlier in this live is, it keeps coming up for me. And it's like I know I'm safe and I know I'm whole and like everything's okay, but there's still that like I guess worry that if I don't act or if I don't do something, you know what I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
I'll like just knowing when to be worried and when not to be worried, I guess.
Listen, like what you're feeling right now, I'm going to be completely honest. it's something that I think, unfortunately or fortunately, we're going to have to sort of start to learn how to navigate. Um, because it's going to feel like the world is going to start to continue to perhaps even to feel like we don't have control over it anymore. And this could be like a physical fear, right? Like somebody's gonna come and get me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be an emotional fear, like you're feeling all kinds of weird stuff coming at you. It could be your own stuff that's coming up that's creating fear. There's a lot of letting go of control. There's not a lot of control that we have right now around what's happening. Um, and so one of the ways that we can start to navigate this, first, I just want to say to you personally, and maybe others that are on here, one of the things that's happening to a lot of us is that we are starting to feel a lot more. So it may not be that there's a physical threat, but you may be feeling the energy of freedom, the energy of control, the energy of at any moment something could be pulled from us. At any moment something can be taken away from us. And
Mm-hmm.
so you're internalizing it as your own personal experience, and it may feel like you personally. It could materialize into your own personal experience. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
We have to learn. We have to start to learn and figure out how to feel safe no matter what. Because I don't know what we're going to be navigating coming in the next moments and the next moments and the next moments. But there's more coming. So how can you find a way to find safety within yourself? How can you get comfortable? And this isn't just for you, but this is for all of us. How can you start to get comfortable in the feeling of not being in control? Because when we're here, when we're inside our bodies, we're in control. So there's this illusion that we have. The human is brought up and programmed to be in the illusion that that we are controlling. The way you feel in control is you're controlling the world around you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're controlling everything, but it's an illusion because you've never been controlling it. It's been controlling you, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like the more I worry about it and the more I let it get to me, it's like becoming center focus, and it's like I feel like being a mom, I kind of go through these ebbs and flows with it. Like I kind of like have moments where I'm like everything's fine, don't think like that, you know, and then there'll be like something will happen, then I'll get like go back to that like kind of like anxious, worried, fearful state, and yeah, so
Do
but
you know
yeah.
what it is you're afraid of or what you feel is coming for you? Or was there an actual physical experience, or was it more of just like it feels like something or someone's about to get me or something's about? Can you nail down exactly what it is? Or is it just like
I
uh
mean, it's more so my kids. Like I feel like I just worry something is gonna happen to them, and I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be able to stop it or protect them or keep that from happening. And that's what I mean. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a normal mom thing, but
I think it's a combination of everything that's happening and a mom thing. I think that a lot of times what happens is when the external world around us no longer becomes controllable. Listen, most of us are looking out at the world, and honestly, to be completely honest, if you were to really ask yourself, do you feel like you understand the world? Do you feel like you are, you've got a good solid ground on what's happening right now, and that you feel confident moving forward? Most of us would be like, no, no idea what's going to happen, no idea what's coming,
yeah,
none, right?
yeah,
That in and of itself will create anxiety, worry, and nervousness unconsciously. And then what happens is that we will take that and then we will put it towards something in our lives, right? So we'll try to take that and then place it onto something within our own lives, when really it has nothing to do with our own lives. It has to do with the fact that we're now in a world where the illusion of control is being dissolved, so that we can start to realize that we have always been in control, and that we will continue to be in control right here, right now. That nobody is controlling my emotions, my thoughts, my behaviors, my beliefs, but me. Nobody
Yeah.
is. But the other thing that's happening, it's really important to point this out, is that you're becoming more energetic. What that means is that you're feeling more. Feeling meaning you're tapping into, you're feeling more of the world's energies. You don't realize it.
Mm.
And then you internalize it, and then it's overwhelming. So again, coming back to the how to, what are the tools that we have to help us? I mean, maybe just being aware of the fact that, like, oh, the control that I used to think that I had around the world is gone unconsciously, right? So now I'm nervous about what's going to happen. I'm nervous about what's going to happen with my children. I'm nervous about what's going to happen with me. I have this nervousness. Okay, great. I'm aware of that. Now, in my moment here, am I safe? Yeah, I'm safe. Am I in my moment right now? Am I good? Yeah, I'm good. If I find myself in my body, am I safe? Yes. If I look at my children, are they safe, right? Come back to presence as much as you can, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and the future is going to create anxiety, stress, and worry, and then you're going to go
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
Yes. Yeah, that's what happened. That's because I felt like the other night when did the meditation, I did that and I felt like that resonated so much with the presence because
The Mary Magdalene one.
yeah.
Oh, wasn't it so powerful?
Yeah, like the first, and it was crazy because the first time I listened to it two times, and the first time I felt like I didn't listen to it enough, but I was in tears. Like, I was like just, and I felt like, I don't know, it's really given me a new perspective of myself. It's almost like I want to start talking about myself in the third person, like, yeah,
Totally.
Allison, like Allison this, Allison that. But and then the second time I was like, I'm gonna listen to this and I'm gonna like get so much more into it. But I realized that first time that was it. Like the first time I listened to it, because I wasn't there for the live part, but I got the replay. And yeah, so like for you to just say that now about the presence thing, it just brought me back to that because I was felt like that was really powerful for me.
Yeah, because she allowed us to see ourselves through different eyes, which I thought was
Yes.
so powerful. So we were watching ourselves through the presence eye, the eyes of presence.
Hmm.
Um, and that is something that we have to practice, because um, the reason that you're being called up on, the reason that you're showing up right now, the reason that you're asking this question, and the reason this is coming up is because there's a massive amount of us that have to really start to recognize that we may find ourselves in a large amount of fear, or we may find ourselves feeling completely out of control, and that we're not safe anymore. And so
Hmm.
we have to be able to find tools that will bring us back to, I am safe, I am okay, I am good, I am solid. Like, and that's why that meditation was so powerful, is because it was an example of, okay, when I feel like something's going to happen to my children, when I feel like I'm not safe in the world, when I feel like whatever it is that we're feeling, how can I find that space, and how can I sort of observe the Allison that's freaking out and say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Come back in, hold on, get present.
Yeah.
Where's the breath? Just stop. And you're looping, right? You're looping.
Hmm.
That's what fear will do. It'll loop you. It grabs you, and then you're on the like twirly go round ride, and you're like, I can't freaking get off this
Yeah.
ride that
And
swirls.
even if I get off, something will happen, or not. It's not really something will happen, but like I'll see a new person, and then like the subject will get brought up, and then I'll tell the story again, and then it gets me on this thing again, like, oh, this is what happened, and then I got all and that's why I felt like I kind of let go of it today, and then it came back when I seen my friend, and she had asked me something, and I was like, oh, and then we started talking about it, and then yeah, so when yeah.
Be the observer, be the observer when you're talking about it. Be the observer when you're watching yourself feel it. Try to be the observer um, while you're going through, whatever it is that you're doing with it, be the observer of it. So don't beat yourself up,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Like, don't beat yourself up. Just be the observer, and then there won't be such an attachment to it because
yeah,
you won't be believing it as you. You'll just be watching yourself experiencing it with a lot of compassion. It's not easy, but this is what we're
yeah,
practicing because, like I've said before, and I say this a lot, but we have to be able to, we're learning how to stand in the fire, right? Like we're literally learning how to stand in what's to come. So
yeah,
we're preparing ourselves. We're preparing ourselves. So how can I learn from this? How can I learn from this? How can I learn from this? And also remember that one of the things that we are learning how to step out of is fear, right? And
yeah,
fear is underneath control, right? And so
yeah,
fear is basically underneath everything. And so we're being asked to really start to pay attention to how often are we dropping back into fear, because fear will grip you. Fear will control you. Fear will spin you. Fear will do all of these things, and you're going to want to get out of fear, and then you're going to want to, then you're going to freak out and have anxiety and blah blah blah, because it's very possible that we're going to be walking into a lot more fear. So we want to
yeah,
be able to navigate it so we don't trip and fall into fear, and then we have fear, the dirt fear all over us, and we're like, oh my God, hold on a second, I got dirt all over my face. I got fear all over me, right?
yeah,
Uh, so for me, presence, breath, and the observer. The observer is everything.
yeah.
Calling yourself by the third person is really you stepping into higher self.
Yeah, like I was doing that today when I was journaling, which is it's funny that you mentioned journaling also earlier in the live is because I want to journal every day, but having the kids sometimes I don't get around to it. And I did today, and that's how I was actually talking about everything I was feeling, to just let it, to just feel it and honor it and let it flow and to not attach to it and like just let it move through me. And then also talking like writing in there in my journal as if I was the third person like saying she and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, I do that
And so I
too.
mean I kind of got myself out of it, and then I got pulled back in because of the conversation leading to that story.
And this is going to happen, right? We're in the human, we're in the
Yeah,
world, right? We're not in a cave. We're not in some, fortunately or unfortunately, you and I are not in some small little town where, it's all secluded and we're good, right? So we're
yeah,
going to have to continue to perhaps speak that story until we no longer tell the story, right? We may all of a sudden have another experience where it creates an experience that allows us to feel fear again. Now we get to choose, right? So we're not escaping this.
yeah,
We are learning how to be in it without being impacted and affected by it. That's what we're learning, right? So the journaling is really, really a powerful, potent tool, especially like you said, Allison, when you use third person, because I did that today as well. I do that a lot when I journal, but I'll write, my guides or my higher self will come in and say, are you hearing us? Are you listening to us? And I'll write that down. Are you hearing us? Are you listening to us? And they'll say,
mhm.
Lori. And I'll write yes. And then they'll say, la, 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 la. And I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. And then I'm like, but I don't believe you. And then, right? So I have this like conversation back and forth.
Yeah,
And it really allows me to get clear on ego Lori, personality Lori, the one that wants to control things and that doesn't understand, and then higher self Lori.
yeah,
It's a good tool. It's a really powerful tool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You kind of just that's what I mean. Because of the fear, it's like all of these things that you're telling me. it's like I kind of know them, but because of the fear, it's like I feel jumbled inside. So just having this conversation is allowing me to kind of like slow down and get the pieces back together. Like, okay, you know, this is what you need to focus on, because then I start beating myself up and feeling bad, and then worrying that I'm manifesting it because I'm thinking about it so much, and I don't want it to be, you know what I mean, like over,
Yeah.
you know, give it too much energy, and then it will, you know, God forbid.
Right. Because you're thinking about it, and all of a sudden you create it. You want to just imagine what you're doing is like you're in a sandbox of fear, right? You're in a sandbox of whatever that thought is. I don't know why there's called I'm like seeing sandbox, but you're in like a sandbox and you're just playing in all this dirt, and it's like a reality that's never going to necessarily manifest, so it's a waste of time, right? But you're still just sitting in the sandbox thinking of all the horrible things that are going to happen. It's like, when do you want to get out of the sandbox? You can get out
Yes.
anytime, right? You're like, no, no, no,
Yes.
no. But I swear, this is really happening. I can feel it. It's like, well, yeah, you can feel the sand because you're in a goddamn sandbox, but you can also get out of the
Yeah.
sandbox,
That's a
and then
good
you
way to
won't be
put
in the
it.
sandbox because there's all kinds of other things around you besides the sandbox. And you're like, but no, do you see the sand? It's insane. It's so freaking crazy. It's powerful. And there's all these rules in the sandbox. Don't put the sand in your eye. Like all these things, right? And all we have to do is just step out of the sandbox.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, Precious. What's your
Hi,
name?
What's your name?
Emma.
Emma. What a great little surprise. How
um,
precious.
that's funny that you said that, because I don't know, I was feeling myself acting like that earlier. The way, like, but what about this and this and this, like you know, making it so big, and the person I was talking to wasn't, I felt like wasn't like validating my feelings, so it was making me even more upset and like stressing about it more,
It's
you
not theirs to
know?
validate because it's your sandbox. It's not theirs.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
sandbox. You're in it. You're creating it, right? And so we look out to kind of get validation or to get reassurance or to be told like, no, 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 get, you're okay, just jump out of the sandbox, jump out of the sandbox. But we need to
Yeah.
do it ourselves. We need to recognize, wait a second, I'm in charge of everything that I'm creating. Nobody else can assist me and help me. Plus, a lot of times they don't want it, they don't care that you're in the sandbox. They're like, literally, I've got my own things to worry about. I'm in my own sandbox. In fact, I got 7 sandboxes I'm in. So like, can you figure out your own sandbox?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
You
can see
know?
that. Yeah.
So think about it next time when you start to find yourself, because you will, perhaps, it takes a lot sometimes for us um, to practice ways of stepping out of it. But when you find yourself in the sandbox of whatever that is, whatever the beliefs and the thoughts and the fears are, visualize yourself. Okay, I'm in the sandbox right now. How long do I want to stay in the sandbox? And then what are the tools for me to get out of the sandbox?
Yeah.
Emma, how old are you?
4.
4 years old. Is it bedtime soon?
Almost. I
Almost.
don't know how many days I'm going to turn 5. I really want to have a unicorn birthday.
What? Say that all over again, slower, Emma.
A unicorn birthday.
She's gonna be 5 soon. She says she wants a unicorn birthday.
A unicorn birthday. I love that. Do you love unicorns?
Because their horn is so rainbow.
Their horns are rainbows. They sure are. Have you ever seen a unicorn?
Mm, not in my life.
Are you in your dreams, maybe?
Oh no, I just have spooky dreams.
Oh, you have spooky dreams? Lots of kids have spooky dreams. Sometimes I
I'm
have
not
spooky
scared.
dreams.
I'm a little bit scared of spiders.
Mm,
I'm not scared of anything, only spiders.
yeah. That's something to concern yourself with sometimes.
I see a cobweb.
Oh, yes. Yep. I got a lot of cobwebs in my house.
How
Sometimes.
many?
How many?
Yeah.
Well, typically I average around, I would say maybe 5 cobwebs in my house.
We have just 3 in our house.
Oh, not bad. That's not,
And
that's,
Poland, where my tata lives, has lots and lots of spiders.
whoa. Spiders are actually really good. You want to know why?
Why?
You know what spiders do? I'll tell you. They go around and they eat up all the little bugs. I guess that's kind of sad, but they go around and eat up all the other little bugs in the house.
Oh.
But then actually that's kind of sad because then the other bugs die. So that's not really that great of a thing. But I mean, it's the cycle of life.
Can they eat moths and butterflies?
No, the moths and the butterfly, well, oof, not butterflies. They definitely don't eat butterflies because butterflies are too big. But I think they may catch.
Like little blue butterflies are pretty big.
Yeah.
Little blue butterflies are pretty small.
Yeah, little blue butterflies are, well, maybe they get the blue butterflies. I've never seen a spider get a butterfly, but I've seen them get flies.
And can they eat ladybugs?
They could probably eat a ladybug, although I've never seen them grab a ladybug.
When last time when Gabe had a ladybug, it turned into a beetle.
The ladybug turned into a beetle?
He saw it on his own eyes.
That's crazy. Beetles, I'm not a big fan of the beetle. God bless them. I love them. I mean, they can live here too, but they're just not my favorite.
Butterflies and moths are my favorite. I just caught one and now it's still in the house. And we have a big one and a little one.
I love that. You just call them in and they come?
Yeah. Last time when I was standing in the sunshine, they're like landing on my hand, right here on my hands.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Only the moths.
They land on your hand, and then what do?
Yeah.
You walk it inside your house?
I just one just like stayed on my hand and I showed it to Mom.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
And I bring it in the house and I put it in the cup. Now it flies somewhere. Now I don't know where it is.
It's in the house, or else
like,
maybe it found its way outside.
I don't know. I just want to look for it.
Maybe hopefully the spider doesn't get it. Now I know why you asked that question. Now it's all making sense. And like you've got moths that you brought in.
How many spooky dreams you have?
Well, typically I will have a spooky dream maybe like every other night. It'll wake me up.
Last time I had a dream and me and Leo are like dressed up like a woman and we knocked and Mom was living in a cheese house and there was a cheese refrigerator and there was cheese all over the floor and Momo was dressed like a chicken and ran into the cheese refrigerator and then Leo found her and then Leo ate her all up.
Did you say Cheetos?
No, Leo ate her. Momo ate her all up.
I think she said everything was made out of cheese in the house.
Oh, cheese. And did you say you were a wolf? You were dressed as a wolf?
Yeah, me and Leo was. And
Leo's our dog, so he's kind of already a wolf.
Mom and we knocked on Mom's cheese door and then
That was a Emma, that was a scary dream.
And we knocked on the door and he was dressed up like a chicken and like a chicken wing and
Okay. I think I have to go because my other one woke up.
Emma, I love you. It's been a pleasure connecting with you. You are the most precious.
do you have any dogs?
No.
Oh.
We're gonna say bye. He was waking up.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
That was so precious. I love connecting with the young ones. I love it. Okay. I think let's do one more and then I'll be done. Let's bring one more person on. She was so cute, 4 years old. She had a lot to say. You know, it's interesting. A lot of kids, they have scary dreams a lot. It's interesting. Okay, let's do this. One more person and then we're going to go.
Hi! That's so crazy. I'm just pulling over. I'm driving.
Hello, Heidi.
Hi! How are you?
How are you?
So good.
Where are you, in Australia? You sound like an
Yeah,
Australian.
I am. I'm in Mullumbimby, Australia.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're driving. Did you just pull over?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm shaking. I think I'm piggybacking off what Alison was talking about, but more so in a way of how do we just deeply trust in these situations that come up? How do we, I mean, I know that the control thing's a really big thing for me. Something happened recently and it's so much bigger than me, and it's sort of involving a big corporation and lawyers and all the things, big story. But I just find it really hard in those situations. How do I deeply trust that I'm going to be okay? And that this is happening for a reason. And
I mean,
yeah.
the first piece, and this is something that I've been experiencing, is surrendering into surrendering into all the possibility. What if you're not okay? So the reason that we attach so much to making sure that we're okay is because we have so much fear that we're not going to be okay. For like whatever unravels, we're not going to be okay. Okay. So the first thing to start to practice embracing when you're like, wait, how can I trust that I'm going to be okay? How do I know that everything's going to turn out for the highest good? How do I know that? Stepping into, can I embrace that I will be okay if it doesn't turn out great? Can I embrace that I'm going to be okay if it doesn't turn out the way I want it to? So there's a letting go in that. Literally,
Yeah.
there's a letting go the moment you say, wait, well, what if I'm just okay no matter what way it goes? Like, feel into that for a moment, right? What if I'm okay regardless of how it unravels? Because what we do is we have the attachment and expectation to the way we want it to unravel. Completely makes sense. It's part of what we do here, which is control and attachment and expectation. Because we want it to work out for ourselves. And we want it to be for our highest good. It's always for our highest good anyways. But we want it to be like, can we not have it be really uncomfortable? I don't want to suffer. I don't want to lose thousands of dollars, or I don't want to lose my job or right? We don't want those things. But the deeper layer, the deeper place that we could go with this also is, what if I'm okay no matter what unravels with it? Whatever direction it goes, what if I know that I'm solid? That's a deeper trust. See, there's a conditional trust, right? Like, I'll be okay if I can trust this much. I can trust that I'm going to be okay if it goes this way.
Yeah.
Can I trust if it goes that way? Right? Oh, shoot. Wait a second. That's a whole different level of trust. So what you're being asked, and what so many of us are being asked to do right now, is to let go of have the direction you want it to go. Right? You know which way you would like it to go. Please, higher self, let's do this. At the exact same time, you let go of how it's going to go. So you're moving with it, you're in it, you're experiencing it, you're exploring it, you're doing what you need to do. But you're in an open, you're in a free space. You're because that is a deeper trust in you and in your higher self and in God and source, in the light that you are. It's a deeper knowingness that no matter what freaking comes my way, I'm going to be okay. And that is what we're being asked to really, really step into right now. Because no matter what gets pulled out from under us, no matter what rug, no matter what relationship, no matter what job, no matter what trauma, no matter what gets pulled out, can I stand in the knowingness that I'm going to be okay? That's literally trusting and surrendering to the power that you are, to get through anything that comes. But also, you are detaching from any expectation, which creates suffering. So regardless of which path it goes down, you're going to be okay. And starting to learn how to tap into and begin to experience that or surrender into that, which isn't easy, right? There's going to be moments where you're like, no, it's got to go this way. Like, please God, it has to go this way. Please God, it has to go this way. And then you drop for a second and say, but wait, if I trust me so deeply and I know that I'm taken care of, if I know I'm taken care of, see, this is what we're also being asked right now, because it's going to get really hairy out there in the coming years for humanity, right? So we have to trust that we're always taken care of by us, that we're good, because not only for your own self so that you can walk through your human life, but also so that you can assist other humans. You remember, Heidi, that you're going first in this evolution.
Yeah.
So you're learning how to do this first, so that 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, when there's other humans in the world around you that are learning how to, or going through what you're going through right now, you get to turn around and say, oh, here, let me assist you. Let me show you how. Let me guide you through this. Because this evolution is a domino effect, right? It's just begun, right? And so it's going to impact all 4.5 billion people on the earth plane. And your personal experience right now is not just for you to be able to step into your power, into your God source, into your empowerment, so that you can navigate anything that comes, while at the same time you are always intending for the highest outcome, more joy, more peace, more abundance, more love. That's what you deserve. So here's the tricky thing. When we let go, this is what's so genius and brilliant. When we let go of wanting it to go down the smooth, awesome path, right? The path of least resistance, the path of least struggle. When we let go of that, then the universe awes us. They wow us. Because the reason we don't want to let go of that attachment and is because we really need it to go this way, because I'll be safe that way. It'll be the best for me. I will feel the best. And the universe is like, girl, let go, because what's coming is 10 times better than that. So allow that other possibility to be in your field. Allow it to. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of anything that may unravel based on what you're doing. And that is absolute freedom. And that is when you start to create with your higher self. And that is when you say, let's go, bring it on. Because that is when the universe wows you. That is when you are shown that everything that you're doing is going to bring you more peace, more joy, more abundance, more love, absolutely, no matter what. But the key is the weird sort of juxtaposition of this whole thing is that you actually have to embrace all the shitty things that may happen.
Yeah.
You have to say, I'll be okay no matter what. It's really uncomfortable, but that is the magic. I'm good.
Amazing.
I'm good. Bring
Yeah.
it on. Right? Because then you are letting go. And then God, source, higher self is like, oh, she let go. Here we go. We're going to wow her. We're going to wow her with everything that's about to unravel. So you walk as this fierce lioness, goddess, woman in form, and you do what you're here to do. You go in and do those, whatever it is that you're doing in that corporate world, you do it with fierceness, with love, with power, with with this knowingness of like, I'm good. I'm so good. You all are good. You just don't realize it. You forgot who you are, right?
Mm.
You all are around me. Every single human is, but they forgot. And so they're in this control restricted space. You're learning how to be in what we call the quantum space, the quantum field, where it's like, oh my God, this is where all the juice is. This is where all the awesomeness is, because this is where I get to be shown so much more than what my restrictive linear mind could create. Your mind can only create so much.
There's another layer, I guess, within this situation, because it was a business thing, my personal business. And it's just triggered my traumas, and I had a trauma response. And it was more so, being silenced. You can't use your voice. Well, I can't use my voice. I can't tell people the truth because I'll be silenced from this company. Yeah, and there's just like my inner core ethics. I'm really getting clear on that and on my values. And I guess like sort of calibrating how far I can go with my voice in these situations, and how far I can push, like, this is my boundary, fuck you. But in a way where like, it's just a situation where that's fact, that would happen, that lawyers would come after me. But I'm just like, how? And it's a trauma response because of sexual abuse when I was younger. You're out of control. I have no control over the situation. You can't use your voice. You can't say stop because this will happen. So it's been quite interesting going through that.
Let me share something that's coming through, because man, do I know that voice. So because there's an aspect of if you've had sexual abuse and you're being silenced at this age, right? You're just like, and you start to sort of really awaken into that voice. The one aspect of you is like, I'm gonna scream it. I'm gonna tell you my truth, and and it's coming from that trauma response, right? But it feels good. It feels necessary. It feels healing almost, right? It almost feels like it needs to come out. So there's that piece. And there's a more healed or higher piece to that voice, which is the higher self voice, right? So I want you to imagine, for anyone that's been really had a lot of trauma in their lives, a lot of us have been silenced and told and been gaslit, right? You can't feel that. That's not what you're actually feeling. Don't you ever speak about it. It's all your fault anyways, right? We internalize everything. And here we are in the world, and we're having to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our truths and hold firm boundaries. So the ego personality that really is still connected to that trauma in some way will need to feel validated, right? So it's like, I've got to speak my truth. I've got to get loud. I've got to get maybe even a little bit aggressive. And there's an aspect of truth to that. There's an aspect of healing to that. Now I'm going to share higher self perspective, okay? And there's no right or wrong. This is just being aware of these two and starting to balance which one is asking to be, to which one is asking to come out and play, and which one is going to bring you the highest result. So the ego may bring you the lawsuits, right? And if you're okay with that, then you're okay. The ego may also not bring you lawsuits. It may actually do something different. Who knows? Higher self. Higher self is going to hold you in an empowered state. There's a difference, and just feel into this. There's a difference. There's a way to speak truth from an empowered state that's not coming from that trauma response. The trauma response is someone's doing something to me. Somebody's taking something from me. I need to stand up for myself. I need to speak louder. I need to speak truth. I need to, that's the ego. Completely okay. Nothing wrong with that. Higher self knows that you're safe. Higher self knows that you're good. Higher self knows what's unraveling here. Higher self knows the roles of those other humans. Higher self is calm. Higher self is so empowered in their beingness that when they speak, there's no anger. When she speaks, there's no rage. So you're speaking, higher self speaks from a higher frequency. People won't even recognize you if you were to walk into the room. And you would be able to make a shift in everything 10 times faster.
Mm.
But it's hard to get into higher self space if we're not aware of what higher self space feels like. That's higher self. So a lot of times what I've done in my life, when I really had to go through something pretty confrontational, I would make sure that before I went into the confrontational space, whether it was with legal stuff, with a friend that I was letting go of, within a relationship, with a parent, whatever it was, I knew it was going to be combat face to face. I would call in my higher self. My higher self is now pretty embodied, so I wouldn't have to call it in. I would close my eyes and I would ask to be centered with my higher self, to breathe with my higher self, to have the lens of my higher self, so that my eyes are the higher self, my voice is the higher self, my body is vibrating as higher self, and everything that I am about to walk into and experience is going to be experienced as higher self. And if you do that, I promise you, you will have an outcome like you've never experienced before in your life. Because what happens when you are higher self, like that, intentional, you're not reactive. Watch, you will not be reactive. It's the craziest thing. You're not emotional. There's nothing wrong with emotion. There's nothing wrong with being reactive. I just want to state that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being emotional when you're in these things. But when you're emotional, you'll get caught up in the back and forth loop between you and the other individuals. And then it goes nowhere. So there's just trauma being played out. Higher self doesn't have an emotional reaction. So the other people are like, dude, she's solid. She's just expressing herself, and they have nothing to grab onto. They have nothing to fight or argue. So what happens is you start to watch. So higher self is also the observer. So you'll be observing it because you're not going to be reacting to them. And you'll watch them they'll be in their humanness. They'll be in their ego. They'll be in that pattern that you're used to being in with them, but you're not responding and reacting. And so it's a very different experience. And for me, I've always been able to get, when I've done it, which isn't very often, but when I do intentionally be the higher self, I don't get pulled out of it. So it doesn't matter what that individual does, how mad they get at me, how loud their voice gets, the things they say to me, I stay in higher self until the experience is done, and it feels very much like a dream. They're like, what the hell
Wow.
just happened? Like, what did I just experience? And was that even me? And how did I even do that? And what did I actually say? Um, and so it's different than the lioness, like, I need to roar and get this out, right? It's very different, but both are important. Both provide something for you, right? The need to get loud and speak truth, and that allows the trauma to be released. It's just, is this the right time? Or maybe should I practice higher self for a moment and see what happens, right? So we don't want to say one is better than the other, or you should do one or the other. That's not it. It's just which one may provide the best outcome. It's really, for all of you that are listening right now, it's really an amazing experience to do that, because you'll be wowed by what happens. So you really literally just call in higher self, and you could do this. It works best, at least for myself, because I feel like I'm always higher self now throughout my days. But when you are about to go into a confrontation, that's when it's the best, because confrontation is the hardest for us because there's a lot of emotion, right? And there's a lot of, like, the energy's moving and the body's expressing, and there's hot flashes and cold flashes, and like there's all kinds of stuff that can happen when you're in a confrontational experience, when you're discussing and arguing something. Doesn't necessarily be arguing, but so when you intentionally pull in higher self in that moment, magic. Absolute magic. So before you go into the room or into the Zoom or on the phone or whatever that is, you close your eyes, you bring yourself into your body and your breath, and you intend that you are going to be higher self through this entire experience. I'm going to be higher self throughout this entire experience. I am higher self in this experience. My higher self is going to come through me. My higher self is already in my body. My higher self is using my eyes. My higher self is using my breath. I am intending that every single thing that unravels is from my higher self. And then you just allow yourself to walk into the experience, knowing that just by stating that, it's done. Just by intending that, it's done. It's done. So you have to trust your body. You have to trust. And then when you're in the moment you sit down, where's your breath? Where's your breath? Because it's going to feel very different, right? Where's my breath? Okay, let's go, higher self. And then you'll start to notice as you're speaking, it's going to be slower. It's going to be non-reactive. It's going to be non-emotional. It's going to be fact. It's going to be what you need. It's going to be what this is what you're going to take, and this is what you're not going to take. See, the higher self doesn't just throw them, like, lets people walk all over them. The higher self is like, God bless you, but this is what I need. God bless you, but this is what I'm going to deal with. God bless you, but this is what I deserve, or whatever it is that you need to express in that discussion. This is what I'm worthy of. This is my truth. This is my voice. It's a very different way of being than in that egoic sort of trauma response place that gets you really nowhere, but it's healing because you get it out. So breathe when you start to step into the space, right? Or you're sitting in the room with them. See your eyes. Know that your higher self is looking out of your eyes. Know that it's your higher self. Know that your higher self has got you. She's gonna rock it, and you're gonna just sit back and be like, okay, you're taking the wheel. Let's go.
Wow, it already feels really powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the hardest conversations that I have ever had to have, I did with my higher self.
Amazing.
And they were miraculous, because you can't be responsible for how somebody else responds and reacts. So what we typically do when we go into conversations or interactions that we're not conscious of, really observing and being the observer of, we get caught in the trauma loop. So this person's getting mad at me, I'm getting mad at them, they're having a reaction, I'm having a reaction, etc. And then it's just this gnarly loop back and forth. Maybe it gets resolved, maybe it doesn't. I feel bruised, they feel bruised, blah, blah, blah. When you come into the situation from the frequency of the higher self, from the beingness of the higher self, you don't get caught in the loops. You can't. You're in a different frequency. You're not trying to be in that frequency. You just intended your higher self to come play. You're like, I need you to take over now. And so you'll watch. You'll watch. Message me if when you do it, message me and let me know, because you'll notice that you won't have a reaction or a response. It's the craziest. It's crazy. And you won't be responsible for theirs. So you're just kind of watching them like, oh, wow. It's not that you don't have empathy or compassion. You're just literally allowing everything to unfold, and you're staying firm in your truth and your light and your beingness and what is yours and what you need or don't need. And they you don't, it's not up to you to make sure they're okay or they're not okay. Right? It's like if we all came to the table as higher selves, it'd be such a freaking better game, because we're like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I need. Okay, this is going to work for me. This is going to work for me. Okay, these aren't going to work. Okay, so what else are we going to do? It would be straightforward, be like, boom. And there'd be an absolute honoring of all humans in that table, right? We'd figure it out. We'd get it all cleared up. Everybody would be good to go, and then done, right? But like we live in trauma. Everything is stemmed from trauma, all of it. And so you step out of that trauma loop when you move into higher self. Oh, I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I'm already picturing myself doing it in all these situations. Let's go.
It's really powerful. It's really empowering. Once you do it and you realize it, you're like, oh my Lord, that's a game changer. It's a game changer. And it's different. I will say this, it's very different than how I live my life right now, kind of connected to higher self, right? It's like you're literally saying, I need you to now come in 1,000% and be me while I go through this. And you sort of go into a daze. That's why when you come out, you're like, wait, what just happened? Have you ever had those experiences where you're like, wait, what just happened? Did I just have that? Did I just have that conversation? Or did that just occur? Or, you kind of have those moments where you're like, that was a dream.
Is it different to out of body experience? Because it's more intentional.
It's similar to the same sort of feeling as an out of body experience, except that you're playing a role. So you're there, you're participating, you're side by side. So it's not the same thing. It's more similar to like, kind of like a dream.
Cool.
Like the dream is real, and when you come out of the dream, you're like, I know that I know that just happened, but I'm pretty sure I don't know how that just happened. So it's similar to like a dream, I would say. That's kind of how it. And when you're in it, because you're in the body, you're watching yourself and you're in awe of like, oh my God, look at what I'm doing. Oh my God, look at what I'm saying. Oh my God, I'm not reacting. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm really excited. You gotta, if you do it and you feel like you want to share, I would really love to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
Well, good
you.
luck with whatever. You don't need luck. Whatever unravels. Really great. I'm so glad that you jumped on though, because this is really useful for a lot of us. So, in so many ways. So.
Yeah, I feel like these situations, there'll be more of this. and we need to know how to navigate it moving forward, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for your
All
wisdom
right, my
and
love.
your
Thank you
guidance.
so much. Bye.
Love you.
I love you. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being with me. I think I was here for about an hour and a half, but anyway, I love you. If you joined late, I will save this. It will be up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with other humans around you, and keep going. Keep going. I love you.